Hello, today is November 14th, 2015. My last call said there were a number of oversold conditions and that if we were to have a gap up at Friday's open, which is what typically happens when there's a wall of selling into the close. If we had a gap up and if the McClellan oscillator on the NASDAQ turned up, that the drop could be over. Well, obviously neither of those things happened. We gapped down in the undesired direction, so the call was dead from the open. During the day, MEJT said this drop was a false move and that prices would return to this line on or after this time. It just missed, giving us a target of 2030.83, but we came close enough so that the target is optional. It usually prints, but it no longer has to. This is a pattern which typically closes near the day's high. When it closes near the day's low instead, it's usually a sign of major trouble. Gapping over Friday's high, which I view as the longest of the long shots, it's just not going to happen, would invalidate that signal. But there should be a drop Monday morning. Throw in the terror attacks, and the only question I think you have to answer is how much of a drop and are we going to have a crash? Well, there are a few targets I have on my list. One of them from back in October 22. I said that at sometime this 2017.22 price would print. I think that's pretty much a gimme. I have this 1985.65 price from October 7th. I think it's entirely possible that we see that price and we just have to look for some support in that area. The next question is, are we going to have a crash? Usually when all these signals to go long fail, they fail in a large way. This is when I showed you on the 15-minute chart. It just failed in spades. Here's the signal on the 30-minute chart, a big zero on that one. The NASDAQ McClellan oscillator is still well below its Bollinger Band. It's the place in the pattern where one looks for a low, a bottom. I don't think a crash is going to happen, even though I think we're going to have a big drop. For one thing, the breadth is still too good. The VIX is printing a bar completely over the upper Bollinger Band. There's no signal till it changes course and goes under the band, but it's typically not what happens right prior to a crash. Here's some Fibonacci ratios on a daily chart. We haven't really undercut the 61.8% level of either of these ranges, and according to DeMark's work, if we undercut the 61.8 and 38.2% level in the same day, which would happen in a crash, that move won't stick and will just retrace at least to this 38.2% level. We also have our friend the diamond on stilts. Half a diamond's enough. We're at the origin of the left stilt. We don't have to stop here, but it is a support level. And if we drop, it wouldn't surprise me if we retrace to that level. It should be a big drop at Monday's open. I think there's a good chance for a recovery before the day's out. If we don't get a recovery before the day's out and we drop far enough, there should be a recovery at least to one of the Fibonacci numbers I showed earlier. And that is today's call.